Your resume isn't working because you're following outdated advice that's keeping you overlooked. I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach and I've helped hundreds of mid-career professionals who were previously getting overlooked. I've helped them gain traction from their applications and also with tapping into the hidden job market. Today, I'm here to share that the problem is not your experience. It's how you're presenting it. Here are the 5 rules that actually get you interviews. Rule number 1, show results, not responsibilities. I see this all the time. A lot of resumes look like job description. They are full of bullets that spell out responsibilities and read like a job description. Instead, we want to have resume bullets that really spell out the outcomes that you've delivered, the impact that you've made. Our client Brian came to us with something like this. His resume looked like a new grad resume basically, and he had several years of experience at this point. And his resume was focused on his education, and then there were a few bullets that spelled out the responsibilities that he had. But that's not what's going to capture the hiring manager's attention. What will capture their attention and compel them to bring you in for an interview is when you clearly spell out the results you've delivered that are going to be relevant to them. So let me give you a specific example that we had in his resume that we fully upgraded. He had bullets like this: managed marketing campaigns. That is very passive and it doesn't spell out any specifics in terms of what that delivered. Instead, we transformed it to led 5 marketing campaigns that generated $2.3 million in revenue, exceeding targets by 34%. See how much more compelling that is. Now, I want to meet that person if I'm the hiring manager. Of course, it's a lot easier to list responsibilities, but with some confidence and with some guidance, you can transform those responsibility bullets into really relevant impact statements. Rule number 2, this is for mid-career professionals. 2-page resumes beats 1-page resume every single time. Now, this may be contrary to advice that you hear all the time. Your resume should be short. It should only be 1 page. 2 pages is just too long. Nobody's going to read that. Well, they're not going to read it if your resume isn't full of very interesting and relevant things to them. When you're in mid-career and you have 15 plus years of experience, honestly, I have done a lot of resumes and I've worked with a lot of mid-career professionals. The 1 page just doesn't cut it. It does not do anything to convey the level of experience and leadership that you provide. It's really not possible to fit in your 6-figure experience into a 1-pager that is going to compel someone to want to interview you. And if your resume has all of the elements that are relevant to the reader, believe me, they will read it word for word. I see this time and time again. Rule number 3, show your full career journey. This is another piece of advice that people hear all the time, that you should only go back 10 years of your experience to avoid age discrimination. But that advice actually doesn't work. And I'll give you a couple of examples of clients that had followed that advice and were not able to get traction on their job search before working together. One of our clients had years of experience working in finance before she worked for a CPG company, and she wanted to go back to the finance role. However, her resume only went back 10 years, which didn't even include her finance experience. So can you see how it was impossible for her to get traction to go back to what she was doing 10 years ago because it was not showing on her resume? So instead, we created a resume that showcased her finance experience closer to the top tier of the resume. And then we did include way more than 10 years. It was not an issue because it was done with really focusing on the aspects of her experience that qualified her for the role that she was going for, and she was 100% able to achieve that. I had another client who was in his 50s and again was told you cannot put more than 10 years or even 15 years of experience in your resume, and he did that. And he then got some interviews, but then people were visibly shocked when they saw him on the video interviews because they expected to meet someone in their early 30s. Meanwhile, he was 20 years older. And so the shock was visible on their faces when they met him. And of course, that was not conducive to having really successful interviews. Remember, your experience is an asset, not a liability. You just need to position it correctly. Rule number 4, you want to customize your resume for each role. Now, before you freak out and tell me that's going to take way too much time, what I recommend is creating a master resume that is going to be positioning you for the number 1 priority role that you want. And when you do that, and when you make sure that that resume includes what's most relevant for that top priority role, your resume is going to cover most things that are going to be relevant for the roles that you're applying to. And it's only going to require a few minutes of your time to customize it for specific roles. We see this consistently with our clients telling us that once we have done their master resume, it takes them 15 to 20 minutes at the most to customize their master resume to fit the different roles that they want to apply to. Rule number 5, lead with a powerful summary. Now, I know a lot of you are using AI right now to create your summaries, and unfortunately, it's leading to a lot of the same, right? I consistently see resumes, summaries that start with results-driven professional. Well, that does nothing for you to stand out. It's become such a catchphrase that it doesn't mean anything. Instead, you really want to tap into what makes you different and unique while positioning you for the role that you want. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Finance director with 12 years scaling revenue operations from 50 million to 200 million across Fortune 500 companies. See how specific that is? And that's not going to sound generic like the old results-driven professional. It speaks to specific results, and it becomes a part of your professional brand. It also gives them evidence, tangible evidence of what you have accomplished, and that's super attractive to hiring managers. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how do you handle the fear of self-promotion? I hear this all the time from amazing mid-career professionals that are worried about sounding braggy with some of these powerful statements in their resume. But here's the truth. You don't get hired for being humble. You get hired for delivering results. And it's important to own them and to substantiate them with facts that you can back up through your interview stories. This is so crucial because employers cannot read your mind. We cannot leave anything to chance. We need to provide these really tangible results to basically prove that we have that skill and that experience, especially in the age of AI, where it's so easy for someone to plug in a job description to create a resume that is going to have all the right keywords and keyword phrases, but no substance. When you have the substance and the specific outcomes, the measurable, tangible results, you will stand out and you will be able to land those interviews that you want. So how do you get this done? You get it done one bit at a time, one bullet at a time. Start small so you don't get overwhelmed, but transforming your resume in this way is going to make a significant difference to your outcomes. So ultimately, if you are getting rejection from your applications, it is not because of your qualifications. It's because you're not communicating the results effectively. These 5 rules are part of the ways that we help our clients transform their resumes so they can start to land interviews for exciting roles. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And if you'd like to explore what support could look like for your resume and your job search, I invite you to book a call with us, and you'll find the link for that below this video. We'll see you in the next video.